The Queen is Dead. By Meep the Changeling. Chapter 30. Discovery, Recovery, and Preparation. Lily, 3rd of Solaris 15 EOH, noon. The last thing I remembered was everything going black. Not my vision had been fine. It was the world itself which had turned black, and then everything disappeared. Time, space, direction. Everything. It was still black, but I could feel things again. There was a down, and I was laying on something soft. There was also sounds, a few faint beeps, a murmur of speech, and the hum of electricitat. I asked aloud, the clear humming of something electrical coming from something near my head. What on equus would even be using electrical power? I'd only recognized the sound thanks to taking mechanical history as an elective. That stuff had been obsolete for a whole generation. Arcane field-powered devices were so much more. Lieutenant. He's coming too. A female voice called from just to my left. Told you the lil guy would be the first one. Pay up. Another, mechanically distorted female voice said. Ugh, fine. A male voice grunted irritably. Nurse, can I talk to him yet? Ja, I can hear you. I answered, we lautet dine name? Sorry, I mean. It's cool, I speak Germain. I'm Sky Trigger. Who are you and how are you related to me? Sky asked. Was? Why do you think I'm related to you? I asked, moving to sit upright and whacking my forehead and horn into something. ACH. Faust's ficken money. Oops. The first female voice squeaked. Sorry, let me just get that for you. The blackness pulled away, revealing itself to be a hinged piece of medical equipment attached to a very soft-looking bed, in a very shiny silvery grey-walled, bright white-roofed hospital ward. It had to be a hospital. The walls were covered with monitors filled with all sorts of medical equipment readouts. Also, there are very few kinds of rooms filled with a row of beds against one wall which do not have personal lockers to go with them and privacy screens. There were 3 people in the room besides myself, David, Jade, and Light. Unlike my friends, those 3 were not also laying in one of the beds. The closest one to me was a short, scrawny, extra glossy green-shelled changeling. She had a short cropped mane and tail with no real styling to them, glass bottle green eyes, and a painted-on cutie mark in the shape of a red cross on each flank. To my surprise, she was also dressed, kinda, with the teal sash running from her right shoulder, under her left arm, and wrapped around her barrel. The sash had a little silver pin set into it which looked like an arrowhead some pony sat on, as well as a small oval-shaped gold stud near the neck. Next was a dark orange Pegasus stallion, who was either a meteor orange or a burnt orange. A nice shade either way, but it was one of those colors that was right on the border of named hues, and it bugged me. He had a messy, spiky blue mane and tail, a cutie mark in the shape of a light bulb with a circuit pattern on it, over a soldering iron crossed with a wrench like a pirate flag, and bright green eyes. The best part was that he had the absolutely most perfectly handsome features. He's married, Mr. Oxytocin Spike. The nurse changeling giggled as she used her magic to turn off some equipment on the bed. I don't remember curling up into an embarrassed ball atop the bed, but I suddenly found myself in that position despite not remembering getting into it. PFFF. His face. Oh man, I wish I had been recording that. The third person snorted. At least the distortion in her voice made sense now. Whatever the hey, she was species-wise, she was dressed in a full set of armor, including a helmet. A really unusual helmet. It had what looked like the smoke filter cylinder from a firefighter's mask, but much shorter and set into a square housing which joined the rest of the helmet seamlessly, and featured a black opaque full-face visor, and 2 bits for pony-like ears to slip into at the top. The really unusual thing was the faceplate had a few characters projected onto it in orange while she laughed. I assumed that XD was not nonsense, but some sort of code. Okay, pretending this didn't happen, Sky muttered, clearing his throat. Sorry. I sat up slowly, then cleared my throat. Where am I, who is she? Sky shook his head. Sorry, I've been rude. You're in the Equestrian Badlands, inside of the Emerald Hive. That's my friend, Kev. We found you guys while I was out proving to her that my hoverbike is better than hers. Hey! Kev objected, faceplate projecting C, that remains to be seen. Read the tech specs. Sky deadpanned, anywho, while doing first aid on you, we noticed you and I share a ton of DNA. I don't have any siblings or relatives as far as I know, so I would like to know how. Oh. Well, this was the mother of all coincidences. Excuse me, but you said Das Emerald Hive, Ja. Yeah. Why? Sky asked. My parents received kidneys from some pony living here. Said with a grin. When my own body started to fail, I fixed myself by using the DNA I'd gotten from the DNA I'd inherited due to both my parents having a non-germane's organs, to grow and transplant my own replacements. The nurse flinched. Oh. I'd been hoping you weren't actually from Germany. I'm sorry we can't provide more transplants for your country, but we don't have unlimited cloning capacity. I blinked and turned to face her, intrigued by the notion of on-demand organ cloning. You can clone individual organs? But how do you sequence the DNA to get the proper segment? I had to make entire organ systems and then cut the part I needed out of that. Yeah, they can. Kev grunted, the how is advanced technology and magic working in tandem. The hive you're sitting in is an old wreck of one of my creator's ships. These guys fixed it up. Suffice to say, you're in a hive full of engineering nerds, the best kind of nerds. I could explain the technicals of the process sometime later if you'd like. The nurse cheerfully informed. Okay, so, apparently my folks signed up for tissue donation and never told me, because I only signed up last year and you're not a foal. Sky mused, rubbing a hoof against his chin. Does this make us half-brothers, or does it make you my nephew? I don't know. But excuse me, I turned my attention back to the hoofed biped, you just said creator's ship. Are you some kind of alien construct? A series of 3 dots scrolled across her faceplate. Why does every pony always assume we are mechanical after we say creators? Ugh. No. I am organic. I am also only sort of an alien. In the extremely distant past this was my species' creator's home world, and we share some of their genome, so I am sort of very remotely descended from native life forms. But I was grown on another planet with the rest of my species. So, yeah. I stared at her in confusion for a few minutes. She's bad at explaining things. Sky chuckled. She's a Gaian, another species made them a few 100 million years ago to help them colonize other planets. Long story short, that didn't work out, there was a revolt because Gaians can magic and their creators can't, a few of them froze themselves to try and not be exterminated, and she and a few hundred of her people thawed out 8 years ago in a base under Whitetail Woods. Oh. So, hey. I didn't have much I could say about that. So she is an alien. Yep. Sky and the nurse stated in unison. Kev's faceplate projected a C code. But I'm technically not an alien. We have a claim to this world too. Can we have this debate later? Sky sighed, I'm trying to work out what this mare colt is to me exactly. No offense intended, it's just that you look extremely female and suddenly it hit me, wait, how do you know I'm male? No pony else has ever been right. Seriously? Both of your eyes have that almond-shaped stallions do, and the nostril flare is more square than round. Kev protected in disbelief, displaying a O_0 code. I know right? When I first started cross-dressing I thought that would give me away. I exclaimed. Sky turned to look at Kev with a raised eyebrow, how did you even notice those details? Under our suits we're not very unique looking. There's only 100 or so natural unique faces. Learning to recognize subtle shapes is just a thing we do. Kev explained, also he'd be your half-brother. He's replaced a lot of himself with parts made from your parents' DNA, as well as the bits from 2 other ponies, so if you average things down he's half related to you via a parent. So half-brother. That's cool I guess. Sky said in a dismissive yet satisfied way. Like he was figuring out where a book on a library shelf was. Well, that's one mystery solved. Back to engineering for me. But, we just found out we were siblings. I frowned and slipped off the bed. Wait. Could I go with you? No. Sky said frowning. I felt my ears droop. But, we just met, you and he were related. Yeah, technically. Due to medical donations. Sky said with an eyebrow raised. I don't want to be mean but I do have things to do, and a technicality doesn't mean a whole lot. Sorry. I gave him a long sad stare. But I've never had a brother before. Yeah, same here. Sky agreed shrugging his shoulders. My ears perked hopefully, so, we can get lunch you and talk about each other. No, Sky sighed, turning around, look, I'm sorry, but I don't have any attachment to a pony who just so happens to share my parents' genes because of some organ donation. I have work to do for the equestrian military, and it's already a bit late because I put it off to race Kev. You seem like a nice guy, but I need to go. Later Kev. I swear my heart fell out of my chest as he trotted off. I'd wondered for years whose blood I shared besides my parents. I suppose I could understand him not caring, but I certainly did. We had the chance to be a family. A real one. Not just a pair of ponies in the air they were ashamed of. Fuck, Kev sighed, watching Sky walk out of the room. That's cold. I'm sorry, he doesn't always understand how others will feel. Oh my god, your eyes are just... You know what, fuck it. Hold on. I turned and looked as the alien woman reached up and tapped the side of her helmet, connect me to the trigger residence. I gave her a confused frown and opened my mouth to ask what she was doing but she interrupted. Hello, Airstream? It's Kev she announced speaking off into space like she was talking to some pony else. Oh. Communication spell. It had been a while since I'd seen one. No I didn't forget anything this morning. I'm in the medic miss. No. Miss. Sky's alright. He's not hurt. Kev protested, helmet projecting a dot. She paused for a few moments, looked at me, and made a gesture involving rapidly opening and closing her hand, after which the text "Moms" scrolled across her faceplate. I assure you, those bikes are completely safe, miss. Besides he can fly, if it goes out of control he can just jump off. Oh, you meant me? That's very nice of you, but look, just because I don't have a fear response to dangerous situations doesn't mean I don't have a sense of self-preservation. We're bunny trailing here. Can we please get onto the topic? It's important. At this point her faceplate began to flash the same code as before, but with a little pulsing asterisk after it. Anywho, we actually found a group of people who botched a teleport. They're fine, we flew them back here. The rest should be waking up soon. What might be interesting to you, is you and Hare signed up for tissue donations to Germany, right? Yeah, that's what Sky assumed. Okay, well one of them is a Germain. Just a minute. Kev tapped her helmet's side for a second then asked me, you mentioned cross-dressing, do you present as female? You act a lot like a mare, but I don't want to presume and be rude. Well. I'm weird. It's easier to just call me a mare. He admitted with a deep blush. She nodded and tapped her helmet again. Sorry, had to sneeze. Right, so there's a Germain here who's the kid of the ponies who got your donations. She's pretty much genetically your half-kid and Sky was a butt to her just now, and she's all sad because she was happy to have found something kinda like fam. Kev clamped her hands to her helmet and made a pained sound as I heard a mare's voice shout, "He what?" I winced, the nurse winced, that had to be mega loud in there. Ow! Airstream, please stop yelling. Kev yelped. Be specific? She asked if he would get lunch with him and he said, "Look, I'm sorry, but I don't have any attachment to a pony who just so happens to share my parents' genes because of some organ donation." Kev paused for a few moments then nodded, "Okay. Soon as the nurse says he can go then." "No. Don't tell her, you know she'll overreact." Sky just wasn't thinking is all. He wasn't being mean on purpose. Yeah, okay. Bye. Kev took a deep breath and leaned back against the wall. "Okay, so your name is?" "Lily." I replied, "What's going on?" "I called Sky's mom and now you're invited to dinner this evening. She's really big on family. But you owe me one, because I definitely just blew an eardrum. I can take you there as soon as the nurse says you can leave." "You mean someone wants to have me over for dinner?" I gasped in delight. The changeling fluttered her wings apprehensively. "Well, I'd like to run a few tests." "He should be able to go in an hour. Out of the medbay that is." "Lily, you and your friends should stay here for at least 24 hours. I will know if there will be any side effects from the treatment by then." "Stay here for a day?" "Sure." I was fine with that. I had kinda possibly maybe family here. I felt my heart pick up, it was like all the happy which had been sucked out rushed back in at once. It almost hurt. This was literally a dream come true. I had a nice dress in my saddlebag I could wear, and I'd be on my best behavior, and be welcomed, maybe get a hug, and the dinner would be home-cooked goodness, and just... Nyeh. I squealed, doing a little happy dance. "Oh boy. I think I just erred," Kev sighed to herself. David, 3rd of Solaris 15 EOH, afternoon. "David, sweetie, please get up." Jade's voice called through the blackness of that 20 seconds of post-wake-up time. That time where everything feels like it's fuzzy. The time where your primary thought is coffee. Now and you feel like you were just hit by a truck. "I'm up," I groaned, starting to sit up and bumping my head into something. "Ow. Damn it. That makes 2 today." A high-pitched female voice grumbled. I felt the warmth of a magical aura on my face, something scraped a bit as it moved, and then there was a really bright white light in my face. I held up a hand, no, a hoof to block the light, and sat up slowly with a groan. "Where the fuck are we?" I demanded, blinking the bright splotches out of my eyes. "A changeling hive," Jade said happily, wrapping an arm around my shoulders. "They're really nice, and have a really cool home. Everything's metal." The sound of a hoof thumping something metallic made my ears twitch. "See? Not really. Vision's pretty spotchy." I grunted. "It is?" the female voice asked from off to my right. "Hold on, that happens sometimes. Let me just check your pupils." I felt a hoof gently grab the side of my head and turn it. A moment later a bright light whited out one eye, forcing me to blink. "Ah. Dilation is just a bit out of whack. Common side effect of those crude Gaian stims. Don't get me wrong, they get the job done, but sometimes, I felt something cold press into my neck, followed but a sharp pinch and a hiss of air. There you go. Should clear up in a moment. I'm Ensign Teal'c, medical officer in training. You're in my care at the moment. She explained. Hat. Ironic that the medic winds up in a hospital being tended by another medi. Excuse me, but medical officer? Are we aboard a ship? I asked curiously. We were just teleported, and I am pretty sure that the mage transporting us exploded. If we're back at the sea. Oh no. You're on the far side of the equestrian Badlands, a day's walk from the Zebrican border. Your mate informed me of your mission. I'm afraid I must insist you remain here for 24 hours for observation, but don't worry, you're quite safe from the swarm here. We're underground, well armed, and will have early warning if they approach. I see. I groaned as my vision started to clear up. Dusk must have meant to send us here then. But exactly how safe are we? Jade said this place is metal, are we in a bunker? Well, yes and no. Your first guess about a ship is close, but I don't think we could ever make her fly again if we wanted to. I'm not allowed to tell you much, security reasons, but you are in a ship hull buried beneath the ground, that's been converted into our home. Teal'c answered. And it's really cool. Jade said as her smiling face came into focus. Your bed has this little mirror-like thing called a screen, and it shows your heartbeat and breathing and all sorts of. Then the rest of the room came into focus. What? They. Actual. Fuck. I demanded of reality. This was a medical bay stolen straight from the set of a Star Trek Mass Effect crossover fan film. I had no words. Every single last detail was either an exact replica of that clear and unique fleet style or ripped straight from the design docs for the Alliance Navy. It was like an army of fanboys with unlimited time and budget set out to outset build Cecil B. DeMille. Is something wrong? Teal'c asked, now revealed to be a green-shelled changeling. Who the fuck cared? How did this place exist? Why did it exist? Who the flying fuck built this place? I snapped. Where did they find the design? Our ancestors did, she replied, ears drooping in confusion. We found historical documents aboard and restored the ship to its former glory, mostly. But who? I demanded, pointing a hoof at nothing in particular. Then my eyes picked up on her sash, which had a goddamn COMM badge on it. I think my brain broke a lot, because the next thing I knew, I came to on my back with a concealed Jade holding my hoof tightly. Sun's light. You're okay? Jade exclaimed in relief. We think you reacted to the medicines badly. Teal'c has the person who gave us first aid in the other room to see exactly what she gave you. Don't worry, everything will be okay. COMM badge. I blurted, remembering the last few moments. That changeling is wearing a COMM badge. I heard a goddamn sliding door has open. An electronically distorted voice instantly came into hearing range. At worst, any residual effects will wear off within what, 6 more hours? Don't be too worried, nurse. Someone new. Someone who could explain. I sat bolt upright and pointed a hoof in the sound's direction. You. Explain how, where and why I am in a Federation medical BI. I was looking at what I could only describe as a hooved, digitigrade, Quarian pony-based Nikomimi, whose suit had apparently been designed by LucasArts prop guys after marathoning The Lord of the Rings. Oh. Okay. I said, nodding to myself. I get it. When I die, I reincarnate into another universe. Got it. David, you didn't die. You were just knocked out and poisoned. Jade said, destroying my theory about reincarnating. Ah. So poisoned, and hallucinating all of this. Makes sense. I did like sci-fi, I muttered as the goddamn. Actually, wait, I asked, pointing to the alien, is there a goddamn Quarian pony girl over there? Said Quarian pony girl zipped over to the side of my bed like someone shot her from a gun and looked me dead in the eyes. Hey, she hissed, I don't know how you even know that name, but you need to shut up. These changelings religiously believe certain things are how the past really was, and are doing their best to be really good people by using it as an example. If you pop that bubble, who knows what will happen? Got it? No. I exclaimed. She slapped a palm to her faceplate and sighed. Nurse, she called, I need to talk to him in private. Oh. Well, all right. Teal'c said, trotting back into the side room. What about me? Jade asked with a frown. I'm not leaving him. You are fine, she answered. Right, so I'm Kev. What's your name, sir? David. I answered, a confused frown spreading across my face. All right, David. Kev began, I don't know how you know what you know, but please, say nothing. These changelings found this ship as a wreck thousands of years ago, and after finding scattered recordings built up this image of. Well, my own species creators were not the best people, but the way these changelings see them is perhaps the best view of the good they achieved. So for the sake of not causing a cultural upset with them, and to preserve the monument to the best of our creators, my people pretend that their version of history is accurate while we are here. Please do the same. Okay. But, how does a sci-fi TV show make it from my world to I stopped talking mid-sentence as what Kev said clicked. Star Trek was a human TV show. She called this recreation of it a monument to her creators. Oh my god. I'm in the future. Wait, what? Kev asked. To my surprise an O_O emoticon flared to life on her faceplate. What's with the emoticon? I asked, completely derailed for what must have been the fifth time this hour. It's hard to emote with tempered transparent titanium in the way. Now explain yourself please. Kev begged. Well, this was either going to be the most unbelievable thing ever, or... Actually there was no OR option here. Best say what happened and stick to the simple facts. I'm from Earth, in the 21st century. I was transported here by a powerful mage and thanks for giving her a gift. She gave me a new body and basically let me loose to live my life. And apparently, no knowledge that I was in the future instead of some other dimension, I trailed off, checking Kev's faceplate to see if she was believing me. Well, I'd call bullshit on that, but after 8 years of living in Equestria and seeing a winged unicorn literally move the sun with telekinesis, sure I can buy that. Kev decided after a moment's thought. Wait, did you say move the sun? I asked unbelievingly. Yeah, she said move the sun. How? That's the god's domain. Jade protested. Yes. Look, just. You have to see it to believe it. Kev sighed. Speaking of which, I want some proof. You know the creator's name for their home world, but you may have heard it from one of my people. So, quick history question. Who was Emperor Palpatine's apprentice? I blinked 3 times. Why you serious? Yes. You want me to verify my story, with the Star Wars trivia question? I demanded. Well, most of our records were destroyed over the years. We were in stasis for a long time. Even molecular data storage has its limits. Kev informed, our own memories were degraded as well, so I can't even remember my 23rd century history lessons about the 21st. Hell, I can't even remember my original name, my adoptive pony mom named me Kev. I can't really ask you much about the 21st aside from that. Darth Vader. I answered with a sigh. It could have been anything. A president's name, the national anthem, name the world superpowers of the era, and you go with a movie question. Hey! It's nearly all we have left of our past's entertainment. It's precious to us. Kev objected, projecting a C emote. I'm so lost, Jade said to herself. It's okay Han, I'll explain later. Right. My turn, the hell are you? Some kind of robot? I asked, flinching a bit as Kev's faceplate projected an angry emote. No. I am a Gaian. The suit is an environment suit, this atmosphere is toxic to us. We are organic sapient life forms engineered to be self-replicating autonomous colonizing tools. We would be grown on site, build infrastructure, do all the grunt work to start a peaceful colonization effort. Things went wrong, the Empire did something unspeakable to the natives we were helping, we decided to rebel, we lost. Myself and one ship's crew used the debris storm form the space battle in orbit to sneak our ship into the place where it is now and hid via stasis pods. We meant to sleep 250 years, the AI fucked up. Time went on for a few geological ages, the Terran Empire at some point fell or abandoned Earth entirely because evolution has kicked in to create the world you see now. What? I interrupted. This is Earth. Yet. Well, it was. It's not fair to call it Earth anymore. Humans are extinct. Except for you, I guess. Kev replied. Oh my god, you're human. You could tell us so much about our past before they. Oh my god. I'm back. I'm home, I whispered to myself. This is Earth. Kev nodded. Yes. Sorry, I've upset you. I didn't mean to. I shook my head slowly, unbelievingly. All the time, it was. I was on Earth. In the future. The far, far, far future. Populated by talking marshmallow ponies with access to magic. All of the weirdness, silliness, and seemingly arbitrary things about this world flashed before me in an instant. This world was crazy, adorable, and pretty fucking awesome, and now that I knew the truth about it, I wouldn't have it any other way. I had to live out my life somewhere, it might as well be here. In the hull of a long-crashed starship, talking to an artificial life form while sitting next to my bug girl girlfriend. With a world this nuts, the only thing to do was roll with it. There was something I had to do. One last thing before accepting the world the way it was and enjoying life in it. I looked over at Kev and asked grimly, humans are gone. She nodded, yes. We estimate for at least 250 million years. My god. We did it, I said, sitting up and sliding out of the bed onto my hooves. We finally really did it. Dropping to my belly, I slammed a hoof into the floor. You maniacs. You blew it up. Ah, damn you. God damn you all to hell. Jade rushed to give me a hug. Oh no, David, it's okay. I'm here. I took a deep breath and stood back up. No. It's fine. I had to do that. Responsibility as the last of my kind. I turned and noticed Kev's faceplate. It was projecting an XD emote. Her hands were holding her sides as she shook with silent laughter. I pointed a hoof at her. That was my test to see if you were telling the truth. She sneered and in an out-of-breath voice said, if we didn't have the movie on file, I'd be crushed. I hurt someone that emotionally deeply. You trust me now? I nodded. I do. Too many coincidences to ignore. This is the future, humans are gone, and I'm on Earth. I can live with that. Mostly because, god damn it, I like what's become of this place. Now where's the exit? My friends and I have a job to do. Jade gave me a hurt, pouty face that literally cut me to the soul. I thought you were actually upset. I gave her a quick hug. I was. A little. But I'm a practical guy. There's nothing I can do to go back to where I was, so this is my home now. You are my first real love, and I wouldn't take you back to my old world with me even if we could, because you would be miserable there. In short, this is my life now and this is where I live it. I'm not that upset that the old one's gone. Everything ends one day after all. Jade thought about it for a few minutes, then nodded. I understand. Let's just make sure that it's the swarm's time to end soon, okay? Damn straight, hon, I agreed. I saw the world clearly now. There were no more surprises to be had. Everything made sense, save for magic, but Lily could explain that to me. Speaking of my best friend. Where are Light and Lily? I asked, turning back to Kev. Light is resting in the quarters which have been provided for you. Kev answered. Oh right. Some gear's been provided as well. We're in full war prep here, so it's not very good, just what was left over. Also, once you're okay to leave, my superiors asked me to fly you out to meet the princesses at the battleground. It's not very far from here and they want to make sure you lure the swarm right to their position as well as ensure your safety and the like. The nurse wants you here for at least 24 hours though. Basically to make sure treatment for radiation poisoning took properly. Oh, and Lily's getting ready for dinner with her long-lost half-parents. Wait, I asked, eyes scrunching in confusion, her what?